Childhood was great. I had everything a kid could dream for. We did everything as a family. I was very close to my mother and father. Same with my brother. My mother was my best friend. My dad was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease. It's a disease that eats the body's tissue within. The stats are that 90% of those within the first 5 years die. When he went to the hospital, I knew it was a tenacious disease and it was something that wasn't gonna pass. My dad was in the hospital and we went up to my aunt's house, my mom's sister. At 8 o'clock, my grandparents walked through the door with my aunt and uncle without my mom. She went down the ski hill one last time on a snow tube. There was a park snowmobile at the bottom of the hill and she hit her head and died on impact. And I remember looking over at my brother, screaming at the top of his lungs, and me screaming at the top of my lungs while we fell into our grandparents' arms, weeping inconsolably. You could have heard the screaming from all the way outside. It's a very tragic moment in my life. I cried every day probably for about 2 months, every day. These calamities in my life, just caused me to be bitter and rage, and gave me an excuse to become rebellious. I got into smoking marijuana and it led to serious drugs. And I was using ecstasy and cocaine into the club scene and was sent to jail for the 3rd time. So I was looking at a number of years in the penitentiary. I had overall 11 charges, federal and provincial. I hit rock bottom. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And just started bawling my eyes out because of all the people I've hurt in my life. I started writing letters to my grandparents, to my aunt and uncle, to my father, saying sorry for all the things I've done. I can't live this lifestyle. I'm gonna die. My aunt told me that there's a place that you can go to. It's called Teen Challenge. The welcome I received, it was, wow. Just the love that was emanating off the brothers, and it was something I haven't experienced in a long time. The last time I experienced that love was in a fishing boat or on vacation with my parents, with my little brother. I was in the chapel downstairs and it hit me. I said, Lord, I can't do this anymore. Like, I just seen all the love and all the joy that people had, and I wanted that joy. I gave my life to Christ. When the Holy Spirit came on me, I started shaking. Right? I just could feel the power of God, and the presence was so real. I couldn't deny it. I know the Lord wants me to continue on in ministry, right? I've been doing street witnessing and I've been on ministry trips. And now I see in myself a huge change, a big turnaround. I remember praying as a kid to keep my dad alive. He's kept him alive 17 years now. Christ said everything's gonna be all right. He'll give me everything I need to live a great and abundant life.